and even. No more daily roller coaster rides. No more egocentric personal choices that amount to getting in your own way. It won't be exactly monotonous because you'll always be in a state of gratitude. Able to more fully witness the divine order of life and learn from it instead of reacting to it, trying to survive it. Practice releasing personal choice every minute of your life for the rest of eternity. Live out of the practice of saying thy will and letting life bring you exactly what you need to grow in consciousness. Okay, and again, when we talk about growing in consciousness, we want to give life full power to develop this new field within us. That's already instilled in us. The seeds are already in us. Life is just watering it with experience. Allow life to dictate all outcomes. Release all personal detachment. Remember, life isn't personal. It's just life. This doesn't mean we stop working and just start waiting for something to happen. We engage life, exercise, pay bills, participate in our communities, spend time with our families, work. We engage with all life from a place of balance, without attachment, without caring how anything turns out, without trying to fix or control anything. If something happens that is unpleasant or hurtful, we embrace it, accept it unconditionally, learn from it, and allow it to bring us to a higher space of consciousness. We didn't cause it. Because we have surrendered to choicelessness, so if life brought it to us, it must be in the highest good. We are free to relax with whatever is. We are free to end suffering, our own and the suffering of others. We no longer are afraid of death because life brings it. It must be in the highest good. Hang on to the illusion of personal choice. Hang on to the illusion that personal choice is the way to go. I hung on to it for a long time. Discover yourself where peace is. Is it personal choice or choiceless surrender? You decide. Another way of asking the question is, where is the fear and chaos? In personal choice or choiceless surrender? Okay? Now, there can be a little bit of fear in giving up a strong guidance or personal choice, but what you find is when you're not being driven by it, the fear of manipulating and causing problems in your daily life goes away. And that's, to me, that was the fear of hurting other people and causing problems in my life around me. I think at some point will be your final fear, ultimately. It isn't so much what happens to you. You get over that. It's, am I doing something that's making things worse? Am I doing something that's causing other people to suffer and I don't know it? Am I doing... And when you give up that free will and you just ask thy will to guide you, and you feel it and you see it, not just in your own actions, but in everything around you, you don't have to have that fear anymore. You're given too many signs that you're living in a way that's aligned with that highest good. And once you're given signs that you're living in that pocket, you can just relax into it and know that, like we talked about, some people are going to be happy, some people are going to love you, some people aren't even going to care who you are, and that's all completely normal. Believe me, I lived in it for a long time in a space of believing I was making things happen or keeping things going. Keeping a marriage going, keeping a job going, keeping friendships going, that illusion of control. Practice offers a peaceful moment-by-moment process of practicing unconditional love, acceptance, and compassion. It opens us up to a space of complete surrender, letting life decide what's going to happen, what's not going to happen, who will stay, who will go. I believe that God gave us, this is one of the most powerful statements in the book, and that's a big statement because there's a lot of them. I believe that God gave us free will so that we could give it back through choice of surrender. Rather than saying, I want and I will, we say thy will. We grow in the practice of loving and living life unconditionally by saying, moment by moment, thy will. We let life bring us what we need. We stop making it all happen. We let go of fear and move into choiceless surrender. Therein lies true freedom. Okay? Therein lies true freedom. Now, the sticky point is people will say, you know, when I talk about giving up freedom, they'll say, well, don't you decide what you're going to eat? Don't you decide, you know, what you're going to drink? Don't you? I said, well, you know what? That's not the context that the practice is trying to teach us so much. It applies, you know, am I conscious of what's best for me to eat, what's best for me to drink, what's best? Yes, of course, okay? But it's trying to get us to embrace the absence of free will on a much grander scale. That the general experiences that we're having, okay, that involve an infinite number of variables and circumstances, to think that you have free will over that field of energy that's like creating and dismantling and moving and changing, like forces of the universe, that allow us to exist, to believe you have free will over that, there's no freedom in it. To believe you have free will over the fact that you're becoming more conscious. I mean, it's that basic. We are all becoming more conscious. There's nothing you can do to stop the evolution of consciousness. Nothing. It's like saying, well, I want to stop the sun from rising and I want to stop the sun from setting. You can't. So to have free will and hold on to free will so tightly that you're saying, I don't have to do the things I need to do to evolve in my consciousness. I don't have to practice being peaceful. I don't have to practice being calm. I don't have to practice being considerate of others. I don't have to practice thinking about how what I'm doing is affecting other people. I don't have to, to me, using free will to deny yourself that basic practice, that's what makes you crazy. That's literally what creates insanity. Because ultimately, you're only going to become more and more aware of the fact that it does. So once you're aware, you have to continue to surrender into higher levels of awareness in unity, because that's where you're going. It's not where you're choosing to go. It's where you're going. Whether you'll become fully aware of it in this lifetime, or in the next, it's irrelevant. Once you know that all the traffic is going in this direction, and you know that's the direction that you're ultimately going to go, it doesn't make any sense to have free will to go the other direction. Does that make sense? It's on a much grander scale. And what you find is that when you give up the free will, and you come from this place of, what would God have me do? What would God have me do? What would God have me do? You start to receive input, information, signs, and you follow them, okay? We've all practiced this. And when we do, okay, in general, I mean, there might be moments, but in general, how well does it all seem to work out? Yeah. I mean, in the moment, sometimes it might not feel like it is. But if you give it enough time and you look at it over a long enough period of time, you can see that the direction you're surrendering into is a good direction. And once you get the feelings and emotions out of the way, that most often happen right as you're giving up the free will choice, that's when a lot of the emotions come to the head, okay? Because emotions are based on choice, reaction. So when you're giving up choice, all those emotional reasons why you shouldn't do it come up and start coming at you, trying to protect you from this surrender into enlightenment. It's crazy, but at some point your emotions are trying to protect you from your surrender into enlightenment.
It's hard when you have issues with control.
Oh yeah.
And I brought this up before. And the times that I get the really clear clarity, like seeing the Big Dipper and realizing that was my sign, that everything was going to be okay, I was in a half-sleep state where I was awake and I didn't make it up, but I was vulnerable and I was open, and most of the time I'm not. And
more than you used to be.
Yeah.
It happens.
I've been working on being even with my emotions and trying to be more intuitive, and I think that's really working. But what's happening is now, like, the tears just come. I'm being calm, but like I cry like on TV, or even more like you sing the Star Spangled Banner, or I'm just so emotional, but I'm not really. Do you know what I'm saying?
That's very much so.
The tears are coming, but I'm really even in life.
That's right. That's right. And what's happening is we have this, first of all, let's everyone just really let go of what crying has signified, okay? Because we have to just let go of what that whole experience has signified for us. Crying has generally signified that we've been hurt, that something's wrong, okay? That we've been treated poorly, or that we're not getting what we want, all right? And what I have found, crying is related to more now, is it's joy, it's surrender, it's that you're not guarded anymore, that you're willing to be seen as someone who's willing to weep. Not cry, but weep. That you're comfortable enough with who you are as a person that you can enter into that space of tears and feel comfortable with the fact that it doesn't need to mean anything. You're just weeping. Now, what you're going to find, and this is, this happens to me on a regular basis, is that you will find when you're moved to higher levels of pure joy and love, you will just cry. You will just cry. And I, those of you who see me, you'll see me many times when I'm with you, even with you, as I'm wiping my eyes. It's a very, but it's because the joy and the love and the connection with life is so overwhelming. It's so intense. It's not intense emotionally, okay? It's intense energetically. That it brings you to tears. So there's an example of this where I was not this last winter, but the winter before I went out, and my father and my 2 sons and I, we went skiing out in Colorado, and we came. My dad skied with us the first day, and my dad at that time, he was 80, so there was this, here he is, he's skiing on top of the mountain, and he's 80 and he's still skiing, and I'm skiing with him, and his grandsons are skiing with him, and we're just having this amazing time, and I'm in that amazing time, all right? And then the last day, he's at the bottom of the hill. He didn't want to ski the last day, and we came down the hill. My boys and I came down the hill, and he was standing there, and we're with him, and all of a sudden, I hear the music playing in the background. My dad's there, boys are there, I'm there, and it just total breakdown. Total breakdown. Just tears, tears, tears. Uncontrollable joy. And it had something to do, yes, it had a lot to do with my dad and my kids, but really, that's kind of what got me starting to cry and weep. But after that, it was everywhere I was sensing anything. All I could see was perfection and divinity. I could see God everywhere, all around. And the moment was so sweet and so tender and so real that all I could do was completely be in love with that moment, knowing that moment was going to end. I wasn't in love with it trying to hold it. I was in love with it letting it just move through me and have an effect on me. And those types of moments will begin to bring you to tears, okay? And that's what's starting to happen with you. And you know that that's what it is because in your life, you're fine. You're fine. But that starts to be joy. Or you'll start to have an emotional release that is just totally unconscious that you just need to let go of. But most of the time, it's that. What do you?
I could probably say so much to this, as you know, to this whole thing. But I'll just say what happened a week and a half ago. I was at yoga. And when I was there, I was going there forever ago with this woman. And I would just, I would just start crying at the end of class. Just all this stuff. I felt like she was speaking to me. And here, that's pretty much what she probably was doing. But it was just such a, I was just one to cry in a closet, cry in the bathroom so no one saw. And then I'd come out smiling and happy, blah, blah, blah. And so that was years ago. And so, but so much I could go on, but just used to beat myself up inside. So anyway, I would just cry in this class. By the end, Shavasana, it would just all come rolling out. And so when I was there a week and a half ago, I had this I was standing up in mountain pose, and here I saw myself on the floor. It was so beautifully, but I wasn't ready for it. But there she was. There was me 5-6 years ago, just a mess. And then, and here I was smiling and loving myself. I'm I love you. I love you for what you were then, and I love you for what, where I'm at now. But it was really a beautiful moment. It was so much emotion, but just just forgiving yourself and but I was so appreciative. I'm thank you, God. Thank you for where I was at and the things. Oh my gosh, I used to always say, oh my gosh, God, why am I in this moment? What are you thinking? And now it's like that moment, and like I'm always saying, thy will be done. If this is what is meant to be right now, then whatever it's meant to be, and just appreciating it no matter what it is. But it was just so beautiful. I'm just staring at myself from like 5 years ago and just
At peace with it.
oh my gosh, I was loving. I was just like sending so much love, to that
Awesome.
person. Yeah, it was just beautiful.
That's a very powerful way to kind of seal up the past and let it drift away.
Mm-hmm.
No regrets. Did you want to say something?
Well, I kind of did what she says.
Good.
Friday.
Say it again.
I don't know why, but I was taking trash out, and I happened to look out in the Blue Angels for practice. I don't know, I just fell out to tears. And I'm outside in the public, and I'm like, we can't do this. Saturday, I get up, I gotta go to my son's house and do something. Gene will tell you. I said, I don't know what's wrong with me. I just started crying. I said, I can't figure out what's wrong with me. It was terrible. Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
I don't know if it's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
It's in the right place.
Yeah, because it's a surrender into that lack of control. You're just trusting that if you just give yourself to that moment, that moment is a loving moment. That moment that I was, the moment that I was just going through incredible transformation with my dad and my kids, it was love. Who cares how it looks? Who cares how it looks? It's so important that we let go of being self-conscious and we become God-conscious. And when that consciousness is taking over, we just, again, does a baby care if it's crying somewhere? Does a baby care if it's laughing somewhere? Babies don't care. They're happy, they laugh. They're crying, they're sad, they cry. Wow, that's thy will being done. Don't get me wrong. We might not always think they're being appropriate, but they're being in the moment. They're being in the moment. We have so much to learn from that, and there's obviously, as they grow, there's places where it should be, but we have to get back in touch with that aspect of ourselves, and we have to be in the moment. So if we're having an emotion or a feeling of joy, just stop and have it. Just have it. What's that?
Stop it.
Right, until you had the breakdown.
Yeah, hopefully so, but I get those moments, I call them PMS moments, even though that's long ago, but I just feel this emotion coming and it's like, I'm afraid to feel the joy.
Yeah. Well, once you do, it's going to change a lot of things, Once you feel the joy, then you're in a whole bigger space. So practice that. Practice thy will be done. Just practice it and trust in it in the order that creates all things. All I can tell you is that's what I am. So if there's anything about what I am that you find inspirational or positive or good, then that's how I got here. I didn't get here by making my own decisions, that's for sure. I got here by following what I was being guided to do and doing it fearlessly and looking crazy and funny and goofy and, looking all kinds of things. And you'll look all kinds of things, but as long as you're following that, you don't have to care. You'll be just fine. So we have a big chamber tonight. So we've got to get into our chamber. Our chamber's becoming quite popular. So we have...
Should we have the VIP section go first?
Well, right now already we have Linda wants to get into the chamber tonight. She had a little fender bender on the way here, so she wants that to be taken care of. But we have Yvon that needs to get in the chamber. We got people and whoever's going to be here. So we have Linda, Yvon. Who was the other one? Don, your sister?
Sister-in-law.
Sister-in-law, her name is?
Linda.
Linda needs to get in there. She's on some dialysis and needs some help with that. And Jeremy, you want to get in there tonight? So we've got 4 people already, so let's get chambered up and go at it. We're already getting to the end of our class, but we had such a wonderful flow that we just went with it. So let's... Don, you're going to step in for your sister first, so we're going to use you as our mannequin. No. Everybody, let's let it go.
No, that's fine. We can just leave it. Thank you.
So maybe your sister-in-law will understand this, maybe she won't, but we're actually, as we're focusing our energy on her kidneys, we're actually focusing it on some chronic sinus problems first. That's it, you're doing fine, Don. And it's ironic, but there's a sinus problem and there's a mold pattern. That's not you, Don. Well, I'm sure you're benefiting. You all are. And a lot of these things started happening for her around 6 years old in her life physically. With me, everyone. This is meaning we're just going to focus our physical energy on her right now. There's not a lot of affirmations to stake to her right now. It's maybe just to send her our love. Help rebalance her water in her body. Help her to understand and embrace that, when she has to go, she has to go. She doesn't want to hold it any longer. Clearing some energy from 17 years old. Stay with me, everybody. I love your support. 28. 43. How old is she now, Dad?
64.
Yeah. We'll have on the end 58. That's the last neutral. Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you, Don. All right, that's the next one. Who's the next one now? Let's do Yvon. Is there something we need to know about Yvon? Not need to know about Yvon? Anything like that?
She got injured. I think a lot of it's been a physical effect, I guess. She's kind of, it sounded like she wasn't able to drive. She kind of had to get some rehabilitation, physical.
Physical therapy?
Yes, yeah, I think so.
Okay.
That was one of the last email
All right.
correspondence of that.
So we're going to use Mary Lou. You're going to be Yvon for me, okay? Everyone tap into me and Mary Lou here. Some of you might remember Yvon. She's just the sweetest thing. So Yvon, this is all about you just really being done feeling broken. It's not in any one way, it's in all ways. And as you heal from this, your family here, we just want to send you one of the most powerful gifts that everybody needs a lot of when they're going through what you're going through, and that's patience. Patience to let things heal the right way. Patience to let things get strong. Patience to not question why it happened. To just let yourself heal before you get into the questioning. Everybody, let's just really focus our intention on Yvonne's bones. Visualize the skeletal system in your minds, all the bones, any bone you can picture in your mind. Whatever one comes to you, arm bone, leg bone, you don't need to know the name, that's it. Everyone focus on a bone, and together we're going to focus on Yvonne's complete skeleton. She's just going to feel our energy and our love just pouring into every bone in her body. everyone. Just amazing. Such a blessed group of healers. Beautiful job, everybody. Wow, that was really beautiful. Okay, we have another one who's not here, right? Wasn't there another one who's not here? No, the other ones are here. Linda's here. Yeah, everybody. Blessings, blessings, blessings all around you, sweet sister. Linda, the first thing I want you to embrace is that you just didn't do anything wrong. That when you feel trauma or pain, the first thing we want to say is, what did I do wrong? You didn't do anything wrong. Don't experience any trauma or don't experience life in general asking that question anymore. What did I do wrong? There you go. What did I do wrong? It creates too much tension. Observer. Our primary role in life, in every initial experience, is to be an observer, to watch, to look, to learn, to be shown. From that place, we can be relaxed. Let our first impulse not be to judge an experience. Let our first practice be to be in it. To be changed by it in a positive way. No matter what we go through, let's start with, how is this going to make me better? How is this going to change me into a more conscious individual? How is this going to make me more aware of God in my reality in every moment? If we can go into every experience with those simple phrases, that is thy will being done. That is how God asks us to experience life. When we do that, there are no accidents. Just opportunities. Beautiful. Thank you, everyone. Everyone continue to send the intention of just love for your brother. Keep it going, everyone. There you go. Everyone just say this with me, okay? There are no
There are
only children
only children
in this world.
in this world.
one child
One child
never exists
never exists
as one,
as one,
always a part
always a part
of a family.
of a family.
Let's all just really, Jeremy has been a wonderful catalyst in this moment. Let's just all embrace the energy of siblings as we touch each other, as we love each other, as we are vulnerable to each other. Let's just really embrace this beautiful energy of siblings that we share right now. Commitment to each other, love for each other. No one's older, no one's younger, no one holds a position of superiority, no one is inferior. Let's cultivate a healthy energy of just to be a sibling, to be a brother and a sister. No rivalry. Total equality. Beautiful. Awesome. Thank you, everyone. Have a great night, everyone. I love you all for being here. Thanks for the wonderful binder. And remember, if you're not here, I'm not here. So thanks for being here.